fucked a job up. And the customer had to have it back, so I couldn't rectify it at the time, so he see it, he wasn't happy, I was annoyed with myself, I got my back up, we ended up having a bit of an argument. Alright YouTubes, in today's video, I fucked a job up. We've got a Maserati Grand Cabrio front end to paint, and this job is a comeback. So I've already done this job, and it's going to be a bit of a long-winded story, so I'll try to keep it as small as possible without too much waffle. So this vehicle came in, and it came in for the front bumper to be painted, and it came in for a wing repair on here and the headlights to be clear coated. It was a little bit of nasty damage on that wing, and the bumper was just rubbish paint and chippy as usual, and a few little bits of damage on it. So initially I wanted to take this bumper off. When we attempted to take it off, we needed to take the headlights out, and pretty much every fixing that we tried to undo on this was C-solid and broke. So we managed to pull it away from the wing with both bolts snapped on this side, 10mm bolts with like an internal nut welded to the wing. That had 2 bolts in that side that both snapped. This only had 1 in it, and we tried to get that one out, and that snapped as well. So we sort of went with the customer and said, if you want this bumper off, we're pretty much going to have to destroy all the fixings and get a whole new fixing kit for it, you know, all new nuts, bolts, speed clips, all the rest of it. So we painted it on in the end. So I had some issues initially with this anyway. So the next issue was there's a colour sticker in it, and it's called Nero Carbonio, which I have done before, and it's on Ferraris and stuff like that. But there's no colour code on it. So I looked on my system, there was 5 Nero Carbonios by searching it by name, and they all had different colour codes, and they had like 6 numbers, the colour codes are, and they were all different. 3 of them were sort of, had the same formulation, and then there was a couple of others that had different formulations and corresponded to different years. So I rang Maserati dealer parts, give them the VIN number, and they give me the colour code, and the colour code they gave me had no correspondence to any of the colour codes on my paint system. So from then on, went with Google searching if I could cross-reference the number that come from Maserati to a colour code, and I narrowed it down to 2. There was conflicting numbers. Some were saying it was one, some were saying it was another. They all come under the same name. Initially, like I say, we was just painting this wing, blending within this wing, and painting this whole bumper on the vehicle. So I thought I'd get my Spectro out. Got my Spectro out, it wouldn't pick out any of the ones. In the end, I sort of tricked the Spectro into finding one, and it picked one. And I'd done a correction on it, and I didn't think it looked too bad. The percentage-wise was okay, and I thought it'd be okay. So I sprayed it, and while I sprayed it, done a spray out card, checked it on the back of the car while I was spraying. I thought the effect don't look too bad. It looks okay to the top of the boot and the quarter, and I went with it. And initially demasked it, didn't look too bad. I thought, oh, it looks a shade out, might be okay outside. But probably a lot of you painters know blacks can look good in some lights, and they can look horrific in sunlight and stuff like that. And that's what happened. We got it outside, and it was absolutely miles away. So I'll show you you probably can't see it in here. This car's really sparkly. It's got real coarse metallic sparkle in it. I know you can't see nothing in it now. It's prepped, and obviously I've masked it. So this is the colour. This is the colour that I put on it. The effect looked quite decent. This car's got quite coarse metallic in it. It's quite sparkly and glittery. So I looked in the ingredients. I corrected it with the camera. It didn't look too bad on the screen. So that's what I went with. So this is how I ended up going down a rabbit hole with it. Went with the Spectro. The colour code that I cross-referenced off the internet from the code that Maserati parts gave me seemed to line up. So that's what I went with. I know I should have sprayed it out, and I should have sprayed out maybe other shades, but I was in a rush, like we always are, And I just took the gamble and I checked it. I sprayed it out as I was spraying the car. In here, I didn't think it looked too bad. But the colour of the car is like that. This one here, that's what the colour of the car's like. Really sparkly, sort of brownier looking, darker looking. This is really blue, the one that I put on there, and that's how it looked on the car. It was like day and night in the natural light and the sunlight. So that's where I'm at with it. That colour code on this one is 290501. The one that I put on there is 220570. Both got the same name. The years are different. So I messed up basically. I put the wrong colour on here and tried to correct it as well with the camera, and it just ended up down a rabbit hole with it. The customer wasn't happy, I wasn't happy. They needed the car back, so I couldn't correct it at the time, otherwise that's what I would have done. It did blend, it blended in this wing, and you couldn't really notice the blend in the wing. It became a bit stressful, this job, and the customer had to have it back, so I couldn't rectify it at the time, so he see it, and he wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy. I was annoyed with myself, and it wasn't his fault. And then he tried to say that he was going to get other people to mix a paint, and then pride got in the way, and I got my back up, and we ended up having a bit of an argument, which is a rare thing for me with customers. So we had a bit of an argument. We both stood our ground a bit, and we had a falling out. But we sorted it all out, and now we're friends again. And yeah, I'm going to rectify it for him and make it look as nice as possible. So I mixed up the other one and sprayed it out while the car was away, and he popped back in and we looked at it, and it ain't too bad. I don't know why the camera didn't pick it up. Maybe this metallic was throwing it, but it wouldn't even pick it up. It wouldn't be edge to edge on the side panel, but definitely blendable, and the shade and the effect looks right. So that's where we're at with it. So it's come back in, obviously not stripping the bumper off again. We're just blending everywhere, taking care of a few chips on the bonnet. Gonna obviously colour all the bumper again. I'm gonna blend 1/2 to 3/4 of the way into this wing, so I make sure that I skip past what I've already put base coat on. There is a slight bit of colour discrepancies around here, but nowhere near like what I put on there. There is a little bit of a difference here. I don't know if you can really see it in the sanded. This looks a bit more metallic, so I'm just going to try and blend here, colour the whole bonnet, colour the whole bumper, and do the same on this side, 3/4 of the wing, blend, and blend up the top there. So that's it. It's a comeback. Coming on a Saturday to do it, so it doesn't interrupt all my other work, and just get it done. So a couple of new things on this. I'm going to be using my new spray guns. I haven't really done many videos with my new spray guns. So I've got Satajet X's HVLP with a 1.2i and an RP with a 1.2i, and yeah, I'm really getting on well with them. Enjoying them. I'm really happy with the results, and a couple of little teething problems, but the functionality of the gun, I haven't had any issues with it breaking or the way it sprays. So they're going to be spray guns, and I'm going to use a new clear coat that I haven't used on the channel as well. So my whole paint system's Mipa. If you're not regular to my channel, all the paint products I use are Mipa. Use the whole system from start to finish. And I've got a variety of their clear coats, but the one I'm going to be using on this is called CC12. So it's Mipa CC12, and it's their top end clear. They call it their show clear. I have used it in the past when I first got the system in. I bought some, and it's got absolutely fantastic gloss. It's got a real flow to it, afterflow to it, so you've got to be a bit careful with it. It's got high resin content, so it's got good gloss. Flat polishing's lovely on it. You can get a real nice glassy finish with it, which is suit this car. It's probably a bit overkill for most production car finishes. That's why I don't use it, and it's quite expensive as well. So you have to be a bit careful. It's quite slow drying as well. You have to be a bit careful with it because it can flow quite a bit, and you know that you could end up getting some runs with it, and I have done. So yeah, that's the clear coat I'm going to be using. These have sort of got a bit of a flat and polished look to them from factory, a bit like Aston Martins. They're not a true gun finish. They have got texture taken out of them, so I'm going to try and get it Close to that, probably have to do a bit of flat and polishing to marry it up with the rest of it, because it is quite glassy looking, the finish on these. So that's going to be the clear coat that's going on it. Thanks for sticking around if you got this far with all my waffling and the story. So basically this is a comeback, and this is how I'm going to rectify it. So I'm going to get the paint mixed up, get the paint in the gun, and we'll get some paint on it. Right then, YouTubes, so this is a comeback. I'll be honest with you, it is clickbaity. I've got to do it. There's no other way with YouTube. It's true, it happened. I fucked this job up, and we did have a row, and he is a customer. I'll admit he's a customer that I've known since I was 6 years old. I've done work for him for the whole 20 years I've had my body shop. So he is a friend as well. But I've got to play the game, man. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to go down that road of clickbaiting and you know, trying to make dramas out of something. But it's the only way I'm going to get views, man. It's the only way. And I've got to play the game. Everyone else seems to be doing it. Yeah, it annoys people. It annoys me when I click on stuff and you think, oh, is that it? But this is a comeback. I did mess this job up, and me and the customer did have a row. So I am telling the truth. I'm not going to do videos where I make out something and it never happened. It is the truth. It did happen. Just obviously over dramatising it a bit, which is what most videos do anyway. So if you can't beat them, join them. It's bollocks, isn't it? But there's a new rule that's come out on YouTube. If you don't create content, you may not know about this rule, but you're allowed to have profanity now in the first 7 seconds of a video, i.e. you're allowed to swear, because before it would affect your revenue. But now there's a new rule come out. They've listened to feedback, and advertisers have said that you can allow it. So now you're allowed to say fuck, shit, whatever you want, and it won't affect your ad revenue.
So what do we mean by strong profanity? Moderate profanity is words like asshole or bitch. Strong profanity includes words like fuck. I don't think we need to use more examples, but you get the idea. While you can now use these words in the first 7 seconds without impacting monetization status, it's important to note monetization will remain limited if you use moderate or strong profanity in titles or thumbnails. Additionally, you have to pick and choose your fucks carefully.
Pick and choose your fucks carefully, man. It's one of the best lines I've heard for ages. But don't worry, I'm not going to start swearing my head off. I do like to swear, but I know some people don't like it, and it's not very professional of me to swear all the time. But I thought I'd give it a go anyway. So I'm probably not going to waffle on too much on this one. Pretty much get the gist of what's going on. It's absolutely boiling in my office at the minute, my little loft room. It's just so hot, and I'm sweating me nuts off here, trying to do this voiceover. But it'd be the usual with Mipa. It'd be a half coat of base coat, and then sort of a double coat and do all the blending. Sort of said in the intro where I'm going to be blending, but I don't know if you can see there, look, with the degreaser on it, you can see how blue that bumper looks to the bonnet. You should have seen it outside. It was horrendous. It was so stressful at the time that I didn't record this job initially anyway, and in some ways I wish I did, and maybe I could have showed you it and then showed you this part. I'm not that good at trying to create ideas for content, and I'm running out of ideas, to be honest with you. And so I just observe what other people do. I observe what sort of content people making, not just with in this line of work, but with other tradesmen. I'm watching the guy that does plastering, and it's really entertaining. But I notice with everyone that's doing it, the only thing that seems to get clicks is having dramas. And my most successful video which smashed all my other videos, is one that one where I mentioned how much a customer got quoted to do a job and how much we'd done it for, and that seems to be the interest. And I'm really not comfortable with playing that game, you know, like tricking people, or I want to show people, you know, what we do here, me and Reese, and just show you our daily jobs. And yeah, I'm running out of ideas, to be honest with you, with it, because there's only so much I can explain about gun setups and spraying and preparation. So I try to have, I think I have a lot more variety than maybe some that are just painting channels, where I'm showing repairs and, you know, all the other aspects of the job. But it seems to be that, like, dirt sells, doesn't it? It's like newspapers, like, people want to hear about dramas, and I suppose TV programs are dramas, people like dramas, but it's hard for me to try and find my way with that, because it's not in my nature to be like that, to you know, to have conflict and to show, you know, and dramatising it all as well. It just, I'm not an actor, I'm just a humble paint sprayer, and just want to show you jobs and how I do it and procedures and all that. But I'm waffling on a bit now, but you see what, I hope you see what I'm saying, whereas, you know, going down the road of having to have a drama with every job to get more views is, it's just not nice for me. I don't feel comfortable with it, but there we go. It's the way of the world, isn't it, you know? You know, just for an example, I speak to the trigger man. He's a fantastic bloke. I've never met him, but we've spoken quite a lot, probably over the last maybe 8-10 months, something like that, and we chat quite often. And he said to me it's the same. He said his most successful video is him spraying with a garden sprayer. So what does that tell you? It goes against the grain. It goes against all his ethics and what he believes in, because he's a top quality experienced painter, and he's only getting views, and we're all doing this to get views because we want to grow. That's why, we're putting work and effort into making content. We all are, all of us, no matter what size we are. It is hard graft, especially on doing it on top of a job, and you put all that effort into it to show your professionalism. And the thing that sells, like perfect example, Triggerman's best video is him spraying with a garden sprayer, a fence sprayer. It's just ridiculous, it really is, but it is what it is. I'm going to leave you now to watch the rest of this video. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around, I really appreciate it. And if you like my content, please subscribe, share it, like it, stick it up your bum, whatever. But no, I'm only joking. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to go because it's really hot in my loft, but if you can see it through to the end of the video, that'd be great. But yeah, on one note, the Mipa CC12 that I used on this job is fantastic, lovely, absolutely lovely clear coat. Bit like I said earlier on in the video, it's probably a little bit overkill for most production jobs, production car, just your average production car jobs, accident repair and cosmetic repair. It's a little bit overkill for that, but yeah, it's great. It come out great on this job, and a really nice drop of clear coat. But you find with the real nice clear coats, they do have a tendency to run. Maybe it's to do with them having a higher resin content, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that coupled with the Satajet X's got nice results out of this. So yeah, stick around, watch the rest of it. Hope you enjoy it, and apologies for the swearing. I might try it again, I'll see what feedback I get off of it. But thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and we'll see you again in the next one. Look after yourselves.